It's the first week of your diet, and you've been off sugar for 3 excruciating days. And even though you're telling everyone how much healthier you feel, what you're really thinking is, this feels like the hardest thing I have ever done. You come home after a long day of work, punctuated by a rather skimpy salad at lunch, and you see, sitting on the counter, dun dun dun, a big, huge plate of cookies. In that moment, it feels like every last scrap of willpower has deserted you. You're not only going to eat that cookie, no, you're going to eat at least 7 cookies, and you'll probably hate yourself afterward. Oh, welcome to WellCast. Is your willpower wimpy? Look, we've all been there, and resisting temptation can feel impossible, but it doesn't have to. Today, we're going to show you how self-discipline is actually a muscle that you can strengthen through our 2 willpower workouts. So, why'd you eat those cookies? Well, let's take a look at a study conducted by researchers at Case Western University. In this experiment, participants were left in a room full of delicious, rich chocolate chip cookies and radishes. Some of the participants were asked to basically do the unthinkable: eat a radish and abstain from eating even one of the cookies. The participants were then asked to complete a mentally taxing and unnecessarily complicated puzzle. It turns out, the ones who had been asked to avoid the chocolate chip cookies were unable to devote the time and energy to seeing their puzzles through. Their willpower had just fizzled out, exhausted from avoiding that luscious-looking cookie. On the other hand, the ones who had gotten to eat their cookies had the discipline to complete their own exercise. What this means is that self-control is a finite resource. It's like a muscle. If you overexert it, you'll end up tired and sore and wary of more exercise. That's the bad news, because finite resources run out. That's why after a long, stressful day of work, people are way more likely to veg out in front of the television than do chores. The good news is that, much like a muscle, your willpower can be improved and strengthened through exercise. You can not only build up the strength to resist temptation, you can also build up your discipline and forbearance. And that's where we come in. Today's WellCast exercise brings you 2 workouts where you'll whip your weakling willpower into shape. Are you ready? Workout 1. Before you start to seriously build your self-discipline, the first thing you're going to do is learn how to make it easier on your future self to complete a task. Think of it as stretching before a run. Take out your WellCast journal and write down a task that you regularly put off. Let's say there's a big pile of dishes that greets you every day after work, and instead of cleaning them right up, you bow to the temptation of collapsing on your couch and leave them until the next morning when you tell yourself you have time to take care of them. So, help your future self out. Write down 2 things that you're going to do to make it easier for you to complete the task the next day. Stack the dishes neatly in the sink, or scrape the food off any especially dirty plates before turning in. And that brings us to workout 2. Now that you've started stretching your muscles, let's try a conditioning exercise. Okay, now the same scenario greets you when you return home from work. You're tired. It's been a long day, and a dirty mountain of dishes is sitting in your sink. This time, figure out a way to break the activity into segments. Take out your WellCast journal and write down a week's plan for how you're going to tackle this task gradually. For example, the first night, do 5 dishes. Second night, do 7. Slowly increase how many you do. Your discipline will slowly build as well. Like any exercise, building up your willpower will take time and effort, but you keep at it, you'll see results. All right, WellCasters, let's recap. Willpower is a finite resource. You spend it all in one place, you're much more likely to bow to temptation later on, and the consequences may be worse. In your willpower workouts, you learned how to 1. Perform simple hacks that'll make it easier for your future self to accomplish a task, and 2. Build up a tolerance for discipline so that it becomes easier and easier to force yourself to do something, even when your couch is 5 feet away and oh so comfy. Hey, did this work for you? Let us know. Tweet us at WatchWellCast, email us at watchwellcast@gmail.com, or leave a comment down below. We'll see you next time.